Despite the shakiness of that example, those conservative-leaning individuals and groups proceed to use Ford as an example of what is bound to happen to any perpetual foundation whenever a donor-founder passes from the scene. In my discussion of this sequence of events, I point out that, alongside several efforts to pin the departure from donor intent badge of shame on several perpetual foundations, attempts that, in my view, substantially failed in every case, those individuals and groups have also continued vigorously recommending to potential donors that they always include a clause in their foundation governing documents that permits their foundation to end its existence if the trustees decide to do so. Why, one will ask, do these conservative-leaning individuals and groups have so strong an antipathy to perpetual foundations? Because their ideological inclinations have persuaded them that, irrespective of a founder-donor's meticulous efforts to ensure the foundation's fidelity to donor intent, any perpetual foundation is vulnerable to departure from that intent, and, moreover, that any drift away from donor intent will be politically leftward. The fact that many of America's largest, most successful, most admired foundations are not characterized by any such departures from donor intent has not seemed to deter such opponents of perpetual foundations from continuing to believe as they do, nor deterred them from opposing the creation of perpetual foundations. Nor does the continuing record of important achievements by such American foundations over more than 100 years dissuade them from waging their war against philanthropic perpetuity. To be sure, the creation of doubt about presumably perpetual vehicles for philanthropic giving, based on the claim that they are vulnerable to drift away from donor intent, is only part of the explanation for the growth in the number of donors who today are choosing to give all their wealth while they are alive or soon after their death. Many donors who choose philanthropy today rather than investing in philanthropy for tomorrow are undoubtedly doing so out of an overwhelming conviction that the urgent problems of today merit as many of the philanthropic dollars available today as possible. I believe, however, that the successful effort to discredit the presumably perpetual vehicles has operated to cause many donors to dismiss perpetuity entirely and opt instead for a default position of philanthropy today. If the arguments by those who hold anti-perpetuity positions continue to dissuade prospective foundation founders from endowing new perpetual institutions, as they appear increasingly to be doing, America will be at risk of losing its capacity to continue facilitating the birth and nurturing of the kinds of high-quality civic sector organizations that have helped make this country the dynamic society that it has long been. It will have lost the source of financing for America's passing gear, as the Ford Foundation's pioneering urban grant maker Paul Ivelsaker called it. That would be a terrible loss indeed, for America and for the world. Preface. Further, there are things of which the mind understands one part, but remains ignorant of the other, and when man is able to comprehend certain things, it does not follow that he must be able to comprehend everything. More than at any time in nearly a century, America is awash in philanthropic dollars. Today's high-profile gifts are often given in spectacular amounts by famous, occasionally controversial donors. Now, as with the big gifts of the early 20th century, when such philanthropic notoriety occurs, criticism soon follows. Some of history's largest charitable gifts, or publicly expressed intentions to make such gifts, such as the announcement by Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Dr. Priscilla Chan, mentioned in the next paragraph, have recently been announced as this book goes to press. As night always follows day, the many critics of American philanthropists, both cynical and sincere, have once again emerged in great profusion, as well as often in great confusion. Ever since 2006, when Warren Buffett surprised the world with his extraordinary $31 billion gift to the Gates Foundation, philanthropy has regularly been in the headlines.